So today I'm going to show you just a short massage routine that you can do with your horse at home. It can be done daily, weekly, even monthly. Any time you can do it with your horse is really beneficial, and it's also good to bond with them. My horse is in a nice safe open area. She's tied, not too tight, but not too loose that she can eat grass. There's other horses around, but they're over the side of the fence. You'll find that when you start, other horses come over and try and take the energy, which is a good thing, but sometimes it compromises the work that you're doing on the horse at the time. So I don't like to hard tie. I like the horse to be able to move around if they need to. So I just normally leave it like that. Then I introduce myself to the horse, let her sniff my hand, take a deep breath myself, which will lower my energy and then in turn lower the horse's energy. And they just need to know that we're not going to do anything that's going to hurt them. So it's important to start with whatever horse I've been working on, that's in the past. I'm not thinking about his body issues, I'm not thinking about the problems I found on the horse that I did 5 minutes before. 100% my mind is on this horse and what I'm finding with my fingers on her body. I also take my watch off and put it here because I use a lot of my forearm and wrists, and no bracelets or rings. So I normally start at the pole, and the stroke that we'll mainly be using is called Effleurage, which is just a very soothing, long stroke with a little bit of pressure. So I like to stand with my legs shoulder width apart, and you use your body as much as possible and gravity. So when working on a big animal like this, don't use your back and try not to use your arms. Use gravity wherever you can. Let it work in your favour. So I'm going to start at the pole, then my arms are going to go like that, and then the second hand's going to follow down, and have a look. One more thing before I start. Always keep an eye on their eye and their face. So if they look like they're enjoying it, their eyes are going to start to shut and they're going to start to look really happy. That's when you know you're onto a good thing. So keep doing what you're doing and experiment with the different pressures. If your horse is acting agitated to begin with, chances are they're just trying to release. So you might have hit a spot that's a little bit tight. So what Tilly was just doing then, I'm not going to write it off immediately as impatience, because she could be feeling quite tense in this area and she might be looking to release. And as you can see, her eye is closing and real soft, which is indicating to me that she has an area of tension. Good girl. Good girl. So we've got a big release there, which is the head shake followed by a lick and chew. So it's important to work down the front of the shoulder here, because a lot of horses get extremely tight through there. Chiro. get your thumb and hook it into the shoulder like that. Be aware that some horses are extremely sore, so I turned my back to her because I know her really well, but if this is a horse I didn't know, it's mainly for the video, but I would go like this and get in that way, so I'm out of the way if she turns to bite me and if she tries to kick me. What are you looking at? This big flat triangle area is a really important place to work on. And the girth area. As you're probably aware, a lot of horses suffer from girth issues. If you put your hand here and your horse hates it, chances are this area is really tight and needs to be released as soon as possible. So I like to get my hand nice and flat and pop it against the body and move it up and down in a sweeping motion, following the line of the rib cage. Again, standing away from the line if they try to bite, and try to stay away if they want to kick you. If a horse was girthy, you'd also be getting a lot of flinching, muscle twitching. And obvious discomfort. Another way to get into the girth area is through the pecs. The pectoral muscles are here, and then they come out through here. And these muscles are extremely important in lifting the rib cage, expanding the rib cage, which then lifts the back. So run your left hand, if you're on the near side, down the shoulder, through the pecs, and then connect it with your right hand underneath. You're creating that flowing motion. And again, I'm shifting my weight from foot to foot. I'm not just standing still and making my arms do all the work. Next I'm going to work on the rib area. So when this area gets really tight, the core can't engage. And when the core can't engage, the back doesn't lift. So when horses are lacking top line, like this horse, they can't really, or when horses need to get top line, it's not the back that does the work, the back has to relax. So we need to work on the back, but more importantly, this area needs to be strong so it engages, which then lifts the back. So if this area is compromised, it can't do its job. So I'm running a flat palm with outstretched fingers along the ribs. And then for the back, I'm just going to do nice long strokes, starting from about here, going up towards the lower back. So after I've warmed up the neck, the chest, the shoulders, the core and the back, I like to do what's called a belly lift, where you get your fingernails and run it down the midline of the horse, which forces them to engage their core and lift and relax their back. So she's having a good release, so she was tense through the stomach area. So I'll do the back lift from the other side so you can see it on this side. Good girl, Daddy. Good girl. Oh man. Good girl. Good girl. So now I'm going to show you how I work on the hindquarters. It's really important to work on the hindquarters as often as possible because they're the powerhouse. So like I was saying before, if the core is compromised, if the stomach muscles are compromised and then the back can't lift, and then if you've got an issue in the hind end muscles, you're losing the power. So the whole circle and chain of muscles can't work to its full advantage. So that's why I find massage so fantastic, because it's such a holistic approach of healing horses. Say you have a problem in the neck, that can cause a whole chain of reaction: neck, shoulder, wither, back, sacro, hindquarters, hock, and so on and so forth, or the other way around. So when you do a whole body massage, you're targeting all the areas that could be compromised. So with the hindquarters, that's the area where you can use the most body weight. Horses absolutely love it, and you can get in as deep as possible. If you're short like me and you're working on a tall horse, it helps if you're on the uphill, but for the video I'll just reach up. Most horses love their hindquarters worked on, so I could easily spend 20 to 25 minutes on the hindquarters alone. Another good thing to do on the hindquarters is what's called a cross fibre action. So if you get your fingers, you can even link your thumbs and place them here and gently pull back and push across the muscle fibres. So we're separating the muscle fibres and we're allowing oxygen to flow through them. Another thing I like to finish off with is a tail stretch. So if it's a horse that you know, like most horses are pretty good, but you can grab onto the tail and just pull your weight back and fully lean into the tail, and you can see their hindquarter muscles activate a little bit. And this works really well because the spine goes the whole way through to the pole. So when you're stretching this area, you're actually stretching the entire body. Slowly move around. So when you're pulling the tail on this side, this hindquarter muscle is being activated.